Persistent extreme heat and thunderstorms have been some of the top headlines over the past few weeks, not to mention that we have some tropical activity that we have to start talking about. While these have been the headlines in July, what's in store for August? Well, that's all going to be covered in my all-new August 2023 weather forecast. To start off this video, I like to take a more detailed look at the short range before taking a look at the long range. Excessive heat has been dominant over places like Texas pretty much since June, and it's still not going to be showing signs of letting up. As we go through the first few days of August, widespread triple-digit heat is in the forecast across much of the southern plains. This will likely continue as we move deeper into the month of August as well. As far as rain and possible flood threats go, I'm watching areas from the Four Corner states up into the high plains. Between August 1st and the 5th, I'm expecting monsoon moisture to move northward across the western U.S. These storms and downpours will shift further and further north in the coming days, as you can see with these daily rainfall accumulation maps. I'm also watching parts of the Midwest and Missouri Valley down into the Tennessee Valley. This is going to be another case of repetitive thunderstorms starting on July 31st and continuing through August 5th. You can actually see this clearly on the weather models. These thunderstorm complexes that will form daily over these regions are called mesoscale convective systems. These are very common during the summertime, and in this case we will be seeing these systems form on the fringe of the high pressure system before moving southward over places like Missouri. Now that we've taken some time to look at what's in the short range, let's take a look at the long range temperature-wise. Like any long-range outlook, information will have to be adjusted, but this is what I'm currently expecting. Warmer than normal temperatures are likely across the western United States and all of the southern US. Areas likely seeing temperatures most above normal will be over the northwest, as well as areas from Arizona into the southern plains and parts of the southeast. Cooler than normal temperatures can be attributed to persistent storm systems moving in from Canada. The Climate Forecast Model, or the CFS, is showing rising heights, also known as high pressure, being most common in the southern and western US, while lowering heights, also known as lower pressures, being more dominant in the northern US and Canada. Because of these factors, I'm expecting portions of the north to see a lack of sustained warmth because of these frequent disturbances, while other portions of the country see more intense and persistent heat. I'm also expecting Alaska to be warmer than normal for the month of August, especially in southeastern Alaska. And now for my precipitation outlook. I'm forecasting drier than normal weather across the southwest. While this does seem hard to believe since the monsoon has just started to get going, unfortunately it looks like it's going to slow back down for a period of time. It looks like August 1st may be the last day of widespread rain across the Four Corners before all the moisture moves north. I think there may be another wet period later in the month, but the upcoming dry spell for the southwest will likely make the month of August finish off drier than normal. On the other hand, rainy conditions with even areas of more precipitation than usual is in the forecast from the interior northwest all the way to the east coast. Weather models do suggest that precipitation patterns will be quite erratic, so it's hard to pinpoint areas that have an even greater potential for wetter conditions. And this is why I only have one shade of green on this map. For Alaska, it's a little bit hard to forecast, but I think drier conditions will be more likely in the southwest with near average conditions elsewhere. Just like June and July, severe weather will continue to be a concern. Across California, western Oregon, and western Washington, severe weather is highly unlikely and nearly impossible since conditions will be dry with very little chance for precipitation. In the yellow shade, severe storms are still unlikely, with only some very isolated and sporadic severe weather episodes. In the orange shade, the severe weather risk is medium, with scattered severe weather events possible through the month. This is especially possible in the Great Lakes and Northeast, where cold fronts may be the primary culprit for severe weather events. Lastly, the red areas where I personally expect the greatest severe weather risk. Thunderstorms erupting over the eastern slopes of the Rockies and then propagating eastward may be a commonplace, not to mention the chance of mesoscale convective systems riding the ring of fire. Next up, let's check in on the tropics. This is a wide view of the Atlantic Ocean today on Monday, July 31st. We have two main areas we are currently watching. One is a disturbance off the east coast, which will head northeastward in the coming days. The other system has a high chance of forming and is over the central tropical Atlantic. These systems will both very likely remain weak as they head away from land. While these two systems may not be posing a risk, don't let your guard down. This is the average tropical cyclone development area for August. As we head into the peak of hurricane season, this is when we really start to see the main development regions start to become favorable for tropical development as they move across the tropical Atlantic. With that being said, areas along the coast of the United States and areas in Atlantic Canada, the Caribbean, and Central America should all be more ready than ever for tropical threats to increase. It's now time to take a look at my overall forecast for August. Along the west coast, expect typical dry weather with hotter than normal temperatures, although places along the immediate coastline may be a little cooler. The red shade in the interior western United States can expect mostly dry and hot weather. Monsoon moisture may intrude a couple times throughout the month, but overall, dry and warm weather will prevail. The southwest will continue seeing extreme heat and a muted monsoon. The pink shade over the southern plains is where I expect to continue seeing extreme and potentially dangerous heat. This has remained unchanged since my July forecast. A large light green shade is in place from Montana down into the Ohio Valley. That's where I expect the most persistent rainfall and severe thunderstorm events. Over the Midwest and Great Lakes, I'm expecting cooler weather. While some severe weather is possible, I'm thinking that temperatures will be trending cooler as we go through August, especially with the passage of cold fronts. Moving on to the Northeast, bouts of rain and storms are likely. I'm thinking that most rain events will be associated with cold fronts, so you will likely see several days of dryness before a cold front comes through, and then this process repeats itself through the month. For the Tennessee Valley and to the southeast, hot, humid, and stormy conditions are likely. I think it could be quite wet in some areas like the Carolinas and Georgia, with lots of pop-up thunderstorms likely. Lastly, the purple area needs to be watching the tropics very closely from Louisiana into the Carolina coasts. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed the August weather forecast and analysis, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We upload weather information on a regular basis, so if you are interested in keeping up with no hype and factual information, make sure you subscribe.